Hi guys, welcome to Money Theory. In this channel, we're going to teach you about taking control of your money through budgeting. Our goal in this video is to teach you to think about money in terms of time and what you can buy with it, teaching how to create a monthly budget, and understanding the monthly income and cash flow, and to remind you to find a balance between spending, saving, and investing. So check your wallet and your bank account to see how much money you have. It's just numbers, but what does it mean? We need to put into context, like what can you buy with it? With $5, you can buy a cup of coffee. With $15, you can buy lunch. So if you have $150, you can buy 10 lunches or maybe even a full tank of gas. Now think about money in terms of time. If your job pays you $30 an hour and that lunch costs you $15, then that lunch costs you 1/2 hour of work. So when you plan ahead, you can think of how many hours you work to pay for it. So at $30 an hour, a $600 phone will cost you 20 hours of work. Budgeting is having a plan with your money. You can think of it like how much you need to spend during the day, week, and month. So if you have $3,000 to use in this month, that's about $700 per week or $100 per day. And here are the main categories of spending. Housing, which is like rent or your house mortgage payment. Transportation, which is the car payment, all its maintenance. Gas for the car or using a rideshare app. Food, which is cooking at home or groceries or eating out at a restaurant. Medical and healthcare is like going to the doctor or your medical insurance. Saving, investing, and debt payments. So these are just what you have left over in the month, what you can invest, or just paying down your loans. And personal and discretionary spending, which are just stuff for hobbies, anything for just personal enjoyment. And you have to keep in mind that you have to compromise expenses. So let's say you need a new phone for $600 and you usually get one coffee a day and they cost $5. So if you avoid getting a coffee for about 120 days, you'll save up enough for getting a new phone. So things are all about balance and you may have to make sacrifices in order to afford other things. So here's a budget practice. Check your expense history and all your credit card and checking account charges, and find the total for each category, from housing, transportation, food, savings, personal spending. You can pause this video for you to practice on the exercise. Now, think about things in terms of value and what it's worth. So far, we focus on money in terms of price of things. But the important thing to also think about is the value of things. Is it worth it? How useful is it and what can you do with it? Does it make your job and life easier? Like having a smartphone to go online, being able to text and make phone calls. And will it improve the speed or quality of things? Like getting a new computer to replace a broken and slow computer. So we have to look at price and value together. These are very different prices, but how different is the quality for each of the phones? So the goal isn't to cut costs and expenses and be extremely cheap, or to copy the newest fashion trends to be popular. The goal is to find a balance, to not buy the most expensive item if you're not sure of why it's better, and to not buy the cheapest item simply because you want to save money. The goal is to make the most of each item, to not break and lose it quickly, and to make it last before replacing it. Next, we'll cover some useful and simple math ideas that will help you through budgeting. Rounding is an estimating. Many times in math, they'll focus too much on being precise. But if we estimate, we can make things quicker and easier. So for example, in the first line, it's very specific, and you can't do that in your head. But if we round the numbers down to 1,000 plus 2,000, we can quickly calculate that they'll equal 3,000. So by simplifying things, we can focus on the bigger picture instead of getting distracted by the details. Another example, if we round the numbers down, 100 times 400, we can quickly calculate that to $40,000. And this is an example of how to round. Focus on the number on the far left and then look at the number on the right. If the number on the right is between 0 and 4, the left number stays the same. If the number on the right is between 5 and 9, then we make the left number bigger by 1. And then everything else becomes 0. So for example, the number 1289, look at the number on the left, 1, and then the number next to it, 2. Because 2 is between 0 and 4, we keep the left number 1 the same, and then we turn everything else to 0. So 1289 becomes 1000. In the second example, 2745, the left number 2 and the number next to it, 7, is between 5 and 9. So we'll change the number 2 to 3. And then we round that number to 3000. The next most common math is average or mean. You add all the numbers up and then you divide by how many numbers there are. So for example, if to find your average business income in year 1, 50,000, year 2, 70,000, and year 3, 90,000, to calculate the average, you add them up and then you divide by 3. That'll get the average of 70,000. This can help simplify your estimations on things by finding the average yearly income instead of looking at 3 different incomes. So here's an example practice on combining rounding and averaging. For this exercise, income minus expenses equals savings. And your goal is to find the average savings between these 3 months. You can pause the video for you to practice. So to estimate, we'll look at the number on the left and then the numbers on the right are 0. To find the average, you add all the numbers together and then you divide by how many numbers there are. The savings on the bottom you'll estimate are 3,000, 1,000, and 0. So when you find the average, divide the total 4,000 by 3 and you'll get 1333. So that's the end of our lesson. Feel free to review this video and to go over all the practice exercises. And to continually practice while going over your own budget by looking through your income, expenses, and savings. Hi guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and to check out my Patreon, Instagram, and other YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.